Indiana Fever set a franchise record in regulation, 113 points. And I got to tell you, from watching, it absolutely did not feel like that. This felt like a grind. It felt like an old school WNBA basketball game that was kind of boring to watch. That was the vibe throughout most of the game, which was really weird when you look at the number of points they scored. That being said, again, it confirms what I've been saying many times is that despite the obstacles, despite, Stephanie White's system and the clashes with Caitlin Clark and how the team is so much better if she's allowed to play her style of basketball. I've always kept saying, but when we look at the entire league, the Indiana Fever, if they are playing well, even within a system that does not suit them, they have the talent to contend for a title because there simply aren't any teams in the WNBA that you look at and go, that's a great basketball team, right? The Las Vegas Aces got absolutely smoked, crushed, demolished, embarrassed, whipped, BTA by the Dallas Wings the other night. I think Chelsea Gray, the point god, had 0 points in the entire game. I think she played like 29 minutes. And it's going to be interesting. I obviously, if you see the title, I think unless I changed it, it says Caitlin Clark in oddly dominant performance. What do I mean by that? Well, let me start off with getting the negative out of the way. Getting Caitlin Clark shot the ball terribly. Okay, terribly. She could not shoot. Now there was an instance I think early when she scored on a layup and came down. Looked like she came down awkwardly on her foot. So she might have been favoring a tweaked ankle a little bit, which if it's bothering you, if it's in your head, is going to impact things like 3-point shots because you're feeling it, you're thinking about it a little bit because even the line, right? 10 of 14 from the line is not a Caitlin Clark number. I think one trip, I think she missed both, which happened right in the game where she ended up hitting the winning 3-pointer from 3,000 miles away on the play exactly as it was drawn up. I think they're the only two times I've ever seen in all those games I watched at Iowa. The only two times I've ever seen Caitlin Clark miss both free throw attempts. Okay. 1 of 8 from three, only 10 of 14 from the line. First quarter alone, I think she missed a couple of layups. Now, one might have been like, oh, well, it was kind of a tip in, but again, within 5 feet, let me say that. And then I'm looking at the numbers, right? I'm looking at the numbers and 21 points. Yeah, we didn't get to that other number yet, but we will. 21 points, 5 of 15 from the field, 1 of 8 from three. Now, one, she got to the free throw line this time, right? She actually got calls, shooting 14. Now, again, with the amount of time she has the ball in her hand, that's what she should be shooting double-digit free throws every single game, and that makes a huge, huge difference. Caitlin Clark shooting 0 free throws, Caitlin Clark shooting 14, because 21 points on 15 shots. Now, when you look at just the shots, 5 of 15, 1 of 8, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, terrible. Even the 10 of 14, not great. But for those of you that were around, I'll go through this kind of quickly because it's one of my favorite stats that's, I guess you could call maybe advanced, although it's simple to do, but it's not talked about a lot. And it's basically on a player's efficiency in point production, and that's points per shot, right? Real simple number. How many field goal attempts, official field goal attempts did a player take? How many points did they score? And I really got into this when the Olympic team was announced and Caitlin Clark wasn't on it. And I started comparing that number because at the time, people were just looking at Caitlin Clark's. We know what a rough start it was because of the schedule they had, and just looking at those numbers and not taking her entire body of work, like that she won a World Cup gold medal and MVP for Team USA for U19 and everything that we know that she's done. And we heard all the excuses as to why she didn't make the team and all this. And I started comparing that number specifically to the guards on the WNBA roster. And Caitlin's was far superior, and I started comparing it to other players. And I believe at the time, and Now there might have been another player, but I'm pretty sure the only person who had a better PPS was Asia Wilson. And at the time, Caitlin Clark's points per shot was 1.32. I do remember that number. Well, last night's game, guess what it was? 1.4. Now, again, that's because obviously the one of the things that factors, just like total shooting percentage, the more you get to the line and the more free throws you make, the better your total shooting percentage. Also, the better your points per shot taken, right? 15 field goal attempts officially, 21 points, 1.4. By the way, one thing I didn't check yet, it's going to be interesting on Wednesday to see how the media headlines this game, right? Because Angel Reese was terrible the other night, 6 of 19, which is basically the same as Caitlin Clark, but she only had 15 points on 19 shots, right? Fewer than a point produced per shot taken, whereas Caitlin Clark produced almost a point and a half per shot taken. Now, the other big thing on that number, 14 assists for Caitlin Clark, right? That's what I keep saying, especially when I talk about like Kelsey Mitchell or other players. Caitlin Clark can shoot poorly, and that's why I said oddly dominant because one, she still produced points per shot, but also obviously 14 assists. She has the ball in her hands all the time. Caitlin Clark can dominate a basketball game even when she's not shooting well, even when she's not scoring. She is the X factor, the it factor. She determines whether a team wins or loses. She elevates her teammates to another level, even when she herself is not shooting the basketball well. Last night was a phenomenal, phenomenal example of that. 113 points, 14 assists for Caitlin Clark. Just think if her teammates could make layups and catch passes, last night she probably should have had 22, 23 assists. She should hold a new single game record for assists. But I mean, there are still some concerns. Like what I said is, oh, Kelsey Mitchell shot great, by the way. This is the type of game Kelsey Mitchell needs to have to be a plus. She was 9 of 11. That's kind of what she needs to do. Um, Drop some passes she shouldn't have dropped. I believe missed I think the Fever team in like the first 5 minutes of this game had 4 or 5, 6 missed layups, something like that. Monique Billings, Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston's got to get back in the paint and learn how to be a center again. Y'all gonna need to stop the podcast. Stop the podcast. Stop the makeup lines, play some basketball, focus on some basketball. Speaking of makeup lines, and it hurts me to say, y'all know. Now I'm so sick of nowadays every criticism is considered hate. You know, I like Lexi Hall. I like her as a player. I like the intangible she brings to a team. There is no reason that she should be starting over Sophie Cunningham at this point. Uh, Sophie came off the bench, 24 points in 24 minutes, 8 of 11, 6 of 7 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Those are all-star numbers. We all know what she did last game, right? 11 points in the fourth quarter. 11 points in the fourth quarter, 3 for 3 from 3. So I mean, it makes no sense to me why Lexi Hull is starting over Sophie Cunningham. Now, again, still some concern. She still gave up 91 points to the Tempo. This game was won, as crazy as this sounds with this disparity, this game was won because of the Indiana Fever at the free throw line. Indiana Fever were 28 of 33 from the line. By the way, that's crazy because 4 of those 5 misses were Caitlin Clark. Kelsey was 6 of 6. Aaliyah was 3 of 3. The only other miss was Billings, and she was 34, 75% fine. Dantas was 4 of 4. And Sophie was 2 of 2. Also, shout out Aaliyah, 7-11, 18 points, 11 rebounds. That's a more key number for me, and 4 assists. Like that's a great stat line. If Leah Boston does that every game, I'm good. But 28 of 33, the tempo was only 12 and 19, right? Free throws 33 to 19 in favor of the Indiana Fever, 28 to 12 on make 16, right? They won by 21. So there are definitely some concerns for this team. There were a lot of, some I grind many mother. It's so weird to talk about this when I got the game that I watched in my head, and then I like 113 points. I'm like, how are you going to trash 113 points? Great question. I don't know. But that's what I keep saying about the talent of the team because I look at that game, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to improve. Aaliyah Boston still can't set a screen. Kelsey Mitchell still can't catch. The Indiana Fever as a team still can't make layups. Caitlin Clark couldn't hit the ocean. 113 points. What the This is a title contender. People, are you going to figure that out? I know the media doesn't want to figure it out, but I promise you, this is a title contender. It's absolutely wild. I mean, don't forget Monique Billings. Everyone's still talking about how she shouldn't start. She shouldn't start. And you know what? That might be true for all of this part of the season. But Monique Billings has been a very solid, productive player, the type of player that you need on a championship team. At some point, I believe Mo Billings is going to consistently play like Mo Billings, right? They're 9-5 with Mo Billings playing like garbage, right? Um, they're 9-5 within Stephanie White's terrible system. They're 9-5 with having no clue how to play defense. Now, they also are 9-5 with the easiest part of their schedule for their entire season, but that's another issue. But yeah, man, I just wanted to, I really, for this kind of, I mean, I just chalked this up to kind of one of those games. The in-depth stuff, I really just wanted to talk about Caitlin Clark's performance because it's so wild and just shows you it's a great example of how good she truly is and how much she impacts a game even when she can't shoot. And she couldn't shoot. Now she was 4-7 from two, which saved her. But what, two? Maybe all three misses were layups, or at least what we'll call within 5 feet around the basket. But she got to the line, man. I mean, 14 free throws. I can't. She probably could have had 20 free throws, but I'm not going to complain about her taking 14 when she gets through games of taking zero or two or three. So that's absolutely wild. Now, one thing I do want to talk about as well, because I just did a video yesterday, right? I had to talk about the Fever attendance when I'm looking at ticket prices, right? Section 200, you can get tickets for 10, $11 for the Indiana Fever at Gainbridge, right? And I went in how now they had played 7 games, now 8 at home. It's a significant number of a 44 game season. And they averaged over 17,000. I think it was 17,035 for Caitlin's rookie year in 2024. And now they're averaging 15,800. And that's a significant drop. You also factor in seriously reduced ticket prices compared to 2024. And we are talking about over a season, millions of dollars in lost revenue for the Indiana Fever. That is what that attendance decreases though, because again, it's not even just ticket prices, right? It's not even just tickets. Then you got the ticket prices are less. And that, of course, means concessions as well, right? All the people who buy concessions, people who buy merchandise at the games where they're obviously the prices are a lot higher than you might have to pay elsewhere. And I'm going to guess because of the unknowns with Caitlin Clark and everything else with the Fever is a lot of those people that aren't going are people who are not in Indy, which means they're traveling, which means you're also talking about lost revenue for the city of Indianapolis with hotels and restaurants and all of that. And last night, by the way, that video I did, well, we can drop the number because last night attendance 15,017. So now we're over a little over 2,000 fewer than was the average in 2024. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's what, 12, something like 12%, 10, 12, 11, 12, 13%. That's a big deal. That's a big drop. No one wants to talk about it. And oddly enough, last night was kind of one of the reasons why, right? A lot of people are messaging me and are having conversations like, oh, this is hard. This is a hard watch. And I know it sounds crazy because, like, well, you got to be playing up tempo to score 113, right? Yeah, I guess. But it was odd. But yeah, it just Caitlin Clark's so good, man. I feel I'm thinking back into the game and what she does for that team and just thinking about in general and it's just it's frustrating and it's really kind of sad the narrative around her since she entered the W. Such a generational player, such a joy to watch on the court, so entertaining. I mean, I'm trying there aren't a lot of I don't even know if there are any men playing today who are as entertaining as Caitlin Clark, that brings so much joy to fans watching her, and all it's been since she's gotten into the league are attacks on Caitlin Clark, media stories on she's not that good, she's not this, she's not that, her fans are awful, she can't do this, she can only shoot threes, all she does is flop, all she does is complain to the officials, and it's like, shut up. Shut up and enjoy what you're seeing because you've never seen it before and you may never see it again. Why is it so hard to just enjoy such a wonderful player who not only gives joy to all the fans, but you can see, and I think this kind of adds to that joy to the fans. You can see, well, you could anyway, at some point, it's being sucked out of her, but you could see the joy that she has in playing the game. You can tell that she is a gym rat. There's a movie for the love of the game with Kevin Costner. They could do a movie for the love of the game with Caitlin Clark because that's why she plays, and everything about it. Everything about her game comes from that joy of simply playing the game. That's all she wanted. That's all her fans want to watch. And the entire WNBA ecosystem is all about destroying that, tearing down Caitlin Clark, tearing down her fans, driving them away from the league, trying to drive a wedge between them and Caitlin Clark, and on and on and on. It's freaking exhausting, and I'm tired of it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you watch the game? Did you enjoy the game? Thinking back now, do you think, wow, Caitlin Clark actually overall had a heck of a basketball game? Let me know. I will talk to you later.